Welcome everyone to A Disney Life for Me. Thank you guys so much for being here. Today we are going to look at Eeyore through a different lens, and it's going to be the lens of the Myers Briggs personality test. I hope that you really enjoy this video, and for those who are interested in my prediction, please stay tuned to the end. I will also give you just a brief description of what it looks like for this type to be depressed. So stay tuned to the end to see that. Alright you guys, so first off, if you are unfamiliar with the Myers Briggs test, I will go ahead and put in the description a link to the Myers Briggs test that I most enjoy doing. It's actually part of the 16 Personalities website, so if you're familiar with that, that'll be down in the link below. I hope you enjoy doing that. For those that don't know about it, I'm going to give you a little bit of a brief explanation as I go through each letter, as I try to figure out what Eeyore is. So the first two letters that we have in the Myers Briggs test is trying to figure out whether people are an I or an E. The I stands for introvert and the E stands for extrovert. Now in this case, I really believe that Eeyore is an introvert. Oftentimes this is mistaken to think that those who are introverts are not talkative or shy. That's not necessarily the case. There are many introverts that are outgoing and can be very social. Likewise, there are many extroverts that can be shy and not as talkative. The indicator of whether you're an introvert or extrovert is really about where you derive your energy from. Do you get energy and gain it from being around people, or do you recharge by being alone and needing some alone time to kind of refuel yourself and give yourself energy? That's really the question here. And I believe with Eeyore, you definitely see him needing to have that alone time and recharge time. And so I would definitely say that he is an introvert. The next two letters, the next two type indicators that are part of the Myers-Briggs system is the N and the S. The N stands for intuitives and the S stands for sensors. Now, intuitives are more abstract in thought. They like to think about their dream world, their ideals. They're a big idea people. They like to talk about ideas and brainstorm. Sensors are more about observation and taking in the world through their senses, through their sight, smell, hearing, touch. Those are the ways in which a sensor takes in information. That's what this indicator category is about. A little bit more of an illustration of the difference between a sensor and intuitive. Take two simple sticks, for example, or just one, we don't need to. The sensor will grab the stick and touch it and see it and feel it and look at it and say, you know, this is what the stick looks like, this is what the stick feels like, this is what the stick sounds like. The sensor is taking in information through observation, through the senses. The intuitive might see the stick and think, I wonder where this stick came from. This stick is broken. I wonder how it broke. I wonder if someone threw it. I wonder if it fell from the tree. The intuitive has more abstract ideas when it comes to the data that it intakes. Now, in Eeyore's situation, I believe that he lands more of a sensor, even though he could have a bit of a dream world in him. But most of the time, he is a sensor. He goes with the data that's in front of him. He goes with the observations he sees. The next two type indicators that I want to talk about is the T and the F. Skirt of the stick, don't need it. The T and the F, the thinkers and the feelers. What I've learned is the way to distinguish between the difference of these two types is how you come to make a decision. It's not that thinkers don't have feelings, and it's not that feelers don't think. But it's more about what you value when it comes to decision making. Thinkers are going to value more logic, rational thought, data, objective evidence. That is how they'll be making their decisions. Where feelers will value or will put more emphasis on their own values or that of their friends and how this decision will impact others. That is the main difference between feelers and thinkers. In this category, I feel like Eeyore is more of a thinker. He's more about making decisions based on data, more about making decisions based on what's going on around him. think what we see in Eeyore is what a depressed thinker looks like. He's not completely devastated by his worthlessness and without value. I mean, you can imagine someone like Tigger, if he has no value or felt worthless, he would be just completely destroyed and devastated. Eeyore does not give into the devastation as much as he just sees it as his objective state in life. Like, this is just it for me, and this is how it is, and I will learn how to live like this. And like he just accepts it as it is, and he walks along life just accepting his state. So I think what we see in Eeyore is more of a depressed thinker rather than a feeler. The last two type indicators that we're going to be discussing is the J and the P, the judgers, judgment types, and the perceiving types. Now, real quick, a very huge misconception is that the judger types are very judgmental and the perceiving types are not at all. We're just very different in the way that we enjoy life. So the J's will enjoy more structure, more routines, more quiet or relaxed times. They want to know what's happening. They don't like surprises. But the P's, they like to live life a little go with the flow, a little more relaxed. They like to be flexible, and they are not going to like deadlines or any sort of time constraints in any way. They're not going to be pressured to make decisions when they haven't been able to fully think through all their options. They love options. So based on those two descriptions of J's and P's, I would have to argue that Eeyore is a J. The reason I say this is because you see Eeyore needing this routine life. Anytime he gets disrupted by Tigger jumping on him, he's all out of whack. He doesn't necessarily like surprises. He likes his quiet, reserved life, and he likes his very routine life. He knows what he's going to do every step of the day until Tigger comes bouncing along. And that's not to say that there's anything wrong with Tigger. I think Eeyores need a Tigger in their life. But it's just to say that I think this really is an indication of Eeyore being a J. Alright, so if you were paying attention closely, you would know that my prediction for Eeyore is that he is an ISTJ, which is crazy. I didn't think that would be the case, but indeed he is. A known thing is that intuitives are more depressed than sensors are. So that's why it threw me off a little bit, because I thought Eeyore was more of an intuitive based on that knowledge. Before I let you guys go, I wanted to talk real quick, as promised, what does an ISTJ who is depressed look like? I found this really cool article that kind of talks about depression in all the Myers Briggs. So I'm just going to go ahead and quote that article and leave a link to that article down in the description below. The article quotes, "When an ISTJ is feeling depressed, they will often keep to themselves and might be hard to reach. They will continue performing their daily tasks and might dive harder into their work. They will often seclude themselves from others and will appear less enthused by time with loved ones. Following their routine can be good for the ISTJ, but it is also great if they can find something physical to help them pull out of their own heads. Finding logical and practical ways to ease their depression can really help the ISTJ. Eating healthy, getting exercise, and spending relaxed time with loved ones can all be great ways to help them feel much more at ease." Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys joining with me on this journey. If you liked this video, please make sure to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell to get notified anytime that we post a new video. As always, please remember, life is a prize. Live every minute. See you guys next time. Bye.